what changes, Marcus, is the huge story, this big, huge backlog of a story about me. Marcus or Terry, Stephen, for that matter, like this big, huge, it's enormous. It's enormous. It's a big fucking story. Yeah. Coming to see through this, that story drops. You can still recall the story, but the truth of it is seen for what it is. And it's like a house of cards. You pull that final card and the whole thing just collapses.
I guess maybe that's what there's resistance to, because it kind of feels like, I don't know why, but it feels like the story is important somehow, or there should be some reason to hold on to it.
Well, listen, here's the good news. Yeah. All you've got to do is be prepared to let it go completely, completely. Have the courage to completely let go. Yeah. Just for a moment. And I'm not saying how long a moment is, but just for a moment till you come to see, then you can pick up the story anytime you like after that. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter then. You can pick it up, not a problem. Not a problem. But have a completely different meaning to you. Completely different meaning. See, the last 40-odd minutes, 50 minutes, right? I've been sitting here. You and I have been gabbering, right? And your body's been sitting in that room. Just your body's been sitting in that room. Yeah. Been fuck all going on around your body. Just been sitting in a chair, sitting in that room. Nothing going on. Directly I'm talking about. I mean, yes, the heart's beating and the lungs are breathing in and out, There's blinking that's happening. Your eyes are blinking, right? There's that is occurring. Yeah. But for 50 minutes, nothing's actually been happening. Yeah. Now, imagine if I told you, I don't know how old you are, right? But all your life, nothing's actually been happening. Just like the last 50 minutes, nothing's actually been happening. Just this, right? But directly here, not a thing has been happening. Nothing. Your beard's been growing a little bit more whilst you've been sitting here. God only knows how many times.
Isn't that a thing that's happening, though?
Beg your pardon?
I mean, isn't that a thing that's happening?
Yeah, but I'm talking about the storying. If I asked you before I said that, what's been happening the last 50 minutes, Marcus? You probably would have went, oh, well, we've been talking about this and we've been talking about that and we've been examining this and been going over this and blah, 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 blah. That's where you would have went. And that's where we normally go. Do you understand? What I'm trying to do is point to something else. Where you actually are is sitting in that chair in that room. And for the last 50 minutes, that beingness, that awareness that is sitting in that chair, nothing's been happening for that or to that. It's been still. It's been completely still. So I'm sure we could pick up different points or periods in your life. Yeah. Yeah. And you'd have a story about, a particular period of time in your life, whether it be a week, 1 week period, or 1 day period, or a 6-month period, or whatever the case may be, whatever that period is, yeah, you'd have a big story about that. But if we remove the story and just watched what the body did over that period of time, can you see the difference?
It's like the space where all that story is happening in is the same.
Yeah, what's happening here? Whilst the storying's happening, what's actually happening here? Not much.
Right.
No, really, not much. You might have somebody that is feeling, I don't know, very depressed, very flat, introverted, and they might be sitting there with their like this, just kind of sitting there. They could be sitting there for an hour and not move, just be in that position. Yeah. If you're observing that, that's all you're witnessing. This. But the person that's doing this, they're not even aware that they're just doing this, right? And that there's a body sitting there and there's just that's only happening, right? They're lost in here. Totally, completely lost, gone, not even present.
Right.
But what's actually happening is just this. Can you see what I'm pointing to here?
Yeah, I see
Yeah,
what you mean. It's just like
yeah,
a bit of moving around or
yeah. What's
but
actually
nothing.
happening? What's actually happening? You go to I don't know, a shopping mall. Yeah, go to a shopping mall, pull up a chair, find a seat to sit on, and just observe people. What are you actually witnessing? Just bodies walking around, arms moving, going into
Just stuff getting
bags,
rearranged
stuff
here and
being
there.
there. That's all that's happening. That's all that's actually happening. Yeah. Or you could be sitting there observing all that, and you could make up a big story about what's actually happening, like a big, huge story about what's actually happening, or not, or not. Yeah. And then if you sit there, right, and then you realize, yeah, because of your own storying that you've now become aware of, your own story, yeah, now you sit there and just watch people in this shopping mall, yeah, you become acutely aware everybody's walking around in a story. Everybody's doing that. Their own little story, their own little world. It was a big shock for me. I don't know if that's the right way of putting it, but it was just like, holy shit. When it finally dawned on me, oh my God, and I'm talking about in relation to my life, when I was born, right? Oh my God, nothing actually happened. It was all a story. When I say nothing actually happened, I'm talking about the Terry story. Didn't happen. There was a body moving around and doing stuff and stuff. Yeah. My whole life was a body kind of doing this and doing that. Yeah. The rest was just,
All the meanings and all the drama and the
yeah,
wins and losses and all of that.
yeah, yeah. in my absolute direct experience right here, right now, none of that even happened. It didn't actually happen. It was just all imagined. All of it was imagined. All of it. All of it. Like, when you're asleep on your bed, dreaming at night, and there's this big dream going on. It could be a nightmare. It could be the worst dream you've ever had in your life. Yeah. And you're being rocked around in this sleeping dream by what it is that's occurring. Yeah. It's not till you wake up in the morning. As soon as you wake up in the morning, that's when it dawns on you. Holy shit, that didn't happen. It did not happen. But if I attempted to step into that dream world and speak to your character in that dream and try and convince that character in that dream, none of this is real, none of it's happening, the character wouldn't believe me. Okay, what the fuck are you talking about? Of course I'm here. Of course I'm having a feeling. And of course I'm experiencing fear right now or whatever, based on the dream.
Mm-hmm.
And we think that in this waking dream. Yeah, of course I'm here. Of course I'm having a feeling. Of course I'm having an emotion. Of course all this stuff is that, oh man, if you only lived my life, you'd know exactly why I feel like blah, blah, blah. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And we've all been guilty of that. All of us. At some point, So we come back to, am I the body-mind? Those two things must be explored. Yeah. You've done a reasonable job on exploring the mind, but where I think you're tripping up is you're still taking this experience that's being had right here, right now, as Marcus having this experience. Marcus is a pattern of thoughts, and you've already identified a pattern of thoughts can't feel or see. Yeah. You got to connect the dots here. Yeah. Because you've sort of got an understanding of what Marcus is, but then on the other hand you go, yeah, but I still feel like I'm here. Like I feel like I'm here.
Right.
You have to resolve those two things.
Yes, it's like the same process with the body as it is with the mind. I mean,
Yeah,
they're fundamentally
yeah,
happening in the same
yeah,
way, I
yeah,
guess.
yeah, yeah. Thanks, Marcus. Sarah, did you track with us?
Yeah. I keep thinking, why do we want to come full circle? Why does awareness want to experience itself again?
Oh my God, awareness experiences a multitude, a myriad of different things. Why not?
That's just what's happening now.
Yeah, as humans, let's forget about all the animals, all the insects, the birds, the fish. Let's forget about the trees, the plant. Let's forget about all those. Yeah. Awareness at the moment is experiencing 8 billion different people, or consciousness, if you want to call it that. It's experiencing 8 billion different experiences. And peppered through that 8 billion different experiences, it's also experiencing waking to itself also. Why not? And then there's everything else, pile that into the mix. Yeah. There will always be someone or some groups of people scattered around the planet, that are woke. Always. That's what keeps this particular cycle going. these conversations that this group, us, that we're having now, it's been happening for millennia. For millennia. Just that now we've got the internet. Now everybody's all over non-duality and trying to work it out. You know, when I first stumbled upon my teacher, it was a miracle that I found him. An absolute miracle that I found him. There was no mobile phones. There was no computers. Yeah. You had libraries and books that you could buy in bookstores. Yeah. And I was, you know, on a spiritual search, trying to work out what. What's going on, you know? And I stumbled across my teacher, who was a non-duality teacher. Like back then, it was so rare to find somebody because they're not plastered all over social media. There was no social media. Yeah. They've always been there. Always been there. Way, way, way back. And always will. You're attracted to this because you're homesick. For you to be homesick, you must know what it's already like to be at home.
And other people who aren't attracted to it, are they not homesick?
No, they're homesick, but not as deeply as this. They'll seek it in another way. Yeah, and that's okay. Like, not that there's, it's just what is. It's the myriad of different expressions of source, if you like. Just, and why not? Of course. Yeah, most people are homesick. Most people are homesick. They stumble around, they hope that they're going to find home in the perfect career. Or they hope they're going to find home in the perfect relationship. Yeah. Or the perfect spiritual group, or the perfect religion, or the whatever. And that's okay. That's all just part of what's happening too. It's all okay. And then there's us poor bunnies that end up wanting to go all the way to the end. And I just want to know the truth. I don't care about the outcome. I just want to.
But then it really doesn't matter if anybody else around us realizes it.
No, not at all. Not one bit. Not one bit. No. What matters when you're in this deep, what matters is that you realize it. That's what matters. You know, if you're anything like me, that's all that mattered to me. That's all. Why? Because nothing else worked in my life. Nothing else truly, truly worked. Do you understand? Nothing truly fulfilled me, or nothing. Whether it be relationships or jobs or religions or spiritual groups or paths or whatever. I can remember, you know, a group of people who were around me going, you know, Terry, you just got to have faith, you know, Ray, just have faith, just keep doing that. I'm like, no, that does not work for me. I've tried and tried and tried. Every week I went along to the same, you know, Pentecostal group that dumped me in water once a week for 6 months. I did it. 6 months I did that. Like I gave it a red hot crack. Do you know what I mean? And I'd come up out of the water. Nah, still hasn't landed. I don't know what. So there was, you know, it was profound in me. It was like, if I can't meet or if I can't know God, I cannot and will not settle for a belief. Now, I don't know where that came from, but that's just what came up here. Do you know what I mean? No. No. Too many different, like it was so important to me that I realized there's just so many different paths I could wander down. And what if I chose the wrong path? No. You know, I'd have a little bit of a sneak down one, a little bit of a look, no. Another little bit of a look, no. No. And that's just how I was. It was just, am I the body? Am I the mind? Body, mind. Stop looking for what you are. That's not how to do this. It's not how to do this. What you are is not lost. It doesn't need to be found. What you are in the final analysis reveals itself to itself. And you are that. But to get there, you've got to absolutely know what you're not. You have to know what you're not. Otherwise,
A short time, I was just going to tell a story. A short time before I found your stuff, I had, I mean, really, it's just an experience where it was a realization and my mind was trying to hold on. And the only thing I can explain was it felt like my mind was dying. And I woke up through the whole night. But deep down, I was like, nothing's happening. This is perfectly fine. But I was grasping on. And it wasn't until I found your videos that I was like, oh, it was all in the mind.
yeah.
Like it was all put together once I found your stuff.
Yeah, good.